Hello everyone. What is the difference between an epic and a user story? Until now, you have been listening to me talk endlessly about user stories, right? Basically, it has a certain format, it delivers a certain value to the end user, it is basically a set of stories which is written from the end user's perspective, etc., 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 right? So, what is an epic? An epic, by its textbook definition, can be said something as a collection of user stories, right? But is that it? Is that all there is to an epic? No, definitely not. An epic is basically a large body of work which is used to attain a strategic objective. That's very difficult to understand, right? I mean, if I read that somewhere, I would be like, oh my god, what does that mean? Are these like big words? That's it? No, let's break it down. So, if you are a product manager, what is your ultimate vision? Let me give you a second to think about it. It is to solve the customer's problems, right? I mean, you deliver some value to the customer at the end of the day, right? So, if the vision is to solve customer problems, you need to take a set of tangible actions to solve those problems, right? Those tangible actions are basically your user stories, if you think about it, aren't they? So, now to attain that vision, you basically build a strategy about something, say, for example, improve the onboarding flow. Now, this is something which you are going to give as a value to the end user, right? You are going to solve a problem for them. When they are being onboarded, they should find it very easy to uh, through this entire process. So this is basically your epic. Now, to break it down, this epic can have multiple user stories. For example, one of the user story to attain this particular strategic objective which I talked about to improve the onboarding flow for the customer, the user story could be like, as a customer, I want to see tooltips whenever I mouse over any of the buttons or text boxes so that it is easier for me to know what exactly I'm going to do. Isn't that easy? Isn't that something which is a single unit of work? Right? So that is a user story. Now you see how that user story basically aligns to the epic here. So you can think of it like a hierarchical pyramid. These are a hierarchy of values which will ultimately attain and give some value to the end customer, right? An epic can take multiple releases. There, it can be more than one quarter as well in some cases. Depends on the size of the epic. A user story usually takes one single sprint cycle. At times it can take two, but usually it takes one. So you see, a few user stories comprise to form an epic. And that, my friends, is the difference between an epic and a user story. So you have to be very careful while writing an epic, right? You have to be careful in while writing the epic that it basically delivers some strategic value. It is aligned with the ultimate vision to solve the customer problem, right? That is basically how the epic should be designed. Once an epic is designed, once an epic has been written, once an epic has been approved by the leadership, and once it has been put in place, Then you break it down into user stories. Then you start thinking from the perspective of the end user that, okay, I have to attain this particular epic. This is what I'm going to do in the next quarter or maybe 2 quarters or something like that. What are the set of individual tasks which need to be done to attain that epic? And those will form your user stories. I hope this clears any confusion about writing epics and user stories for you as a product manager. If you have any questions or concerns, please put them in the comments and I will address each one of them specifically. And I will be looking forward to listening to all of your thoughts. Thank you.